Dead Sea Scrolls Exodus 1Q2 Exodus Language, Hebrew Date, before 60 AD Location, Qumran Cave 2 Exodus 16:12 I have heard the murmurings of the children of Israel. Speak to them, saying, At evening you shall eat meat, and in the morning you shall be filled with bread, and you shall know that I am Yahweh your God. 13 In the evening, quail came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew lay around the camp. 14 When the dew that lay had gone, behold, on the surface of the wilderness was a small round thing, small as the frost on the ground. 15 When the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, What is it? For they didn't know what it was. Moses said to them, It is the bread which Yahweh has given you to eat. 16 This is the thing which Yahweh has commanded. Gather of it every one according to his eating, an omer a head, according to the number of your persons. You shall take it, every man for those who are in his tent. Exodus 19:24 Yahweh said to him, Go down, you shall bring Aaron up with you, but don't let the priests and the people break through to come up to Yahweh, lest he break out against them. 25 So Moses went down to the people, and told them. Exodus 20:1 God spoke all these words, saying, 3 You shall have no other gods before me. 5 You shall not bow yourself down to them, nor serve them, for I, Yahweh your God, am a jealous God, visiting the iniquity of the fathers on the children, on the third and on the fourth generation of those who hate me. 6 And showing loving kindness to thousands of those who love me, and keep my commandments. 25 If you make me an altar of stone, you shall not build it of cut stones, for if you lift up your tool on it, you have polluted it. 26 You shall not go up by steps to my altar, that your nakedness may not be exposed to it. Exodus 21:1 Now these are the ordinances which you shall set before them. 2 If you buy a Hebrew servant, he shall serve 6 years, and in the 7th he shall go out free without paying anything. 4 If his master gives him a wife, and she bears him sons or daughters, the wife and her children shall be her master's, and he shall go out by himself. 5 But if the servant shall plainly say, I love my master, my wife, and my children, I will not go out free. 2Q2 Exodus Language, Hebrew Date 30 BC, 68 AD Location, Qumran Cave 2 Exodus 1:11 Therefore they set taskmasters over them to afflict them with their burdens. They built storage cities for Pharaoh, Pithom and Ramses. 12 But the more they afflicted them, the more they multiplied and the more they increased greatly. They were grieved because of the children of Israel. 13 The Egyptians ruthlessly made the children of Israel serve. 14 And they made their lives bitter with hard service, in mortar and in brick, and in all kinds of service in the field, all their service, in which they ruthlessly made them serve. They continued to multiply and increase greatly, and Egypt was in dread because of the children of Israel. Exodus 7:1 Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I have made you as God to Pharaoh, and Aaron your brother shall be your prophet too. You shall speak all that I command you, and Aaron your brother shall speak to Pharaoh, that he let the children of Israel go out of his land. 3 I will harden Pharaoh's heart, and multiply my signs and my wonders in the land of Egypt. 4 But Pharaoh will not listen to you, and I will lay my hand on Egypt, and bring out my armies, my people the children of Israel, out of the land of Egypt by great judgments. Exodus 9:27 Pharaoh sent, and called for Moses and Aaron, and said to them, I have sinned this time. Yahweh is righteous, and I and my people are wicked. 28 Pray to Yahweh, for there has been enough of mighty thunderings and hail. I will let you go, and you shall stay no longer. 29 Moses said to him, As soon as I have gone out of the city, I will spread abroad my hands to Yahweh. The thunders shall cease, and there will not be any more hail, that you may know that the earth is Yahweh's. Exodus 11:3 Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians. Moreover the man Moses was very great in the midst of the land of Egypt, in the sight of Pharaoh's servants, and in the sight of the people. 4 Moses said to Pharaoh, This is what Yahweh says, About midnight I will go out into the middle of Egypt. 5 And all the firstborn in the land of Egypt shall die, from the firstborn of Pharaoh who sits on his throne, even to the firstborn of the female servant, who is behind the mill, and all the firstborn of livestock. 6 There shall be a great cry throughout all the land of Egypt, such as there has not been, nor shall be any more. 7 But against any of the children of Israel a dog won't even bark, or move its tongue, against man or animal, that you may know that Yahweh makes a distinction between the Egyptians and Israel. Exodus 12:32 Take both your flocks and your herds, as you have said, and be gone, and bless me also. 33 The Egyptians were urgent with the people, to send them out of the land in haste, for they said, We are all dead men. 34 The people took their dough before it was leavened, their kneading troughs being bound up and their clothes on their shoulders. 35 The children of Israel did according to the word of Moses, and they asked of the Egyptians jewels of silver, and jewels of gold, and clothing. 36 Yahweh gave the people favor in the sight of the Egyptians, so that they let them have what they asked. They plundered the Egyptians. 37 The children of Israel traveled from Ramesses to Succoth, about 600,000 on foot, who were men, in addition to children. 38 A mixed multitude went up also with them, with flocks, herds, and even very much livestock. 39 They baked unleavened cakes of the dough which they brought out of Egypt, for it wasn't leavened, because they were thrust out of Egypt, and couldn't wait, and they had not prepared any food for themselves. 40 Now the time that the children of Israel lived in Egypt was 430 years. 41 At the end of 430 years, to the day, all of Yahweh's armies went out from the land of Egypt. Exodus 21:18 If men quarrel and one strikes the other with a stone, or with his fist, and he doesn't die, but is confined to bed. 19 If he rises again, and walks around with his staff, then he who struck him shall be cleared, only he shall pay for the loss of his time, and shall provide for his healing until he is thoroughly healed. 20 If a man strikes his servant, or his maid with a rod, and he dies under his hand, he shall surely be punished. Exodus 26:11 You shall make 50 clasps of brass, and put the clasps into the loops, and couple the tent together, that it may be one. 12 The overhanging part that remains of the curtains of the tent, the half curtain that remains, shall hang over the back of the tabernacle. 13 The cubit on the one side, and the cubit on the other side, of that which remains in the length of the curtains of the tent, shall hang over the sides of the tabernacle on this side and on that side, to cover it. Exodus 30:21 So they shall wash their hands and their feet, that they not die, and it shall be a statute forever to them, even to him and to his descendants throughout their generations. 23 Also take fine spices, of liquid myrrh, 500 shekels, and of fragrant cinnamon half as much, even 250, and of fragrant cane, 250. 24 And of cassia 500, after the shekel of the sanctuary, and a hin of olive oil 25. You shall make it into a holy anointing oil, a perfume compounded after the art of the perfumer. It shall be a holy anointing oil. Exodus 32:32 Yet now, if you will, forgive their sin, and if not, please blot me out of your book which you have written. 33 Yahweh said to Moses, Whoever has sinned against me, him I will blot out of my book. 34 Now go, lead the people to the place of which I have spoken to you. Behold, my angel shall go before you. Nevertheless in the day when I punish, I will punish them for their sin. 2Q3 Exodus B Language, Hebrew. Date 30 BC, 68 AD Location, Qumran Cave 2. Exodus 4:31 The people believed, and when they heard that Yahweh had visited the children of Israel, and that he had seen their affliction, then they bowed their heads and worshipped. Exodus 12:26 It will happen, when your children ask you, What do you mean by this service? 27 That you shall say, It is the sacrifice of Yahweh's Passover, who passed over the houses of the children of Israel in Egypt, when he struck the Egyptians, and spared our houses. The people bowed their heads and worshipped. Exodus 18:21 Moreover you shall provide out of all the people able men, which fear God, men of truth, hating unjust gain, and place such over them, to be rulers of thousands, rulers of hundreds, rulers of fifties, and rulers of tens. 22 Let them judge the people at all times. It shall be that every great matter they shall bring to you, but every small matter they shall judge themselves. So shall it be easier for you, and they shall share the load with you. Exodus 19:9 Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I come to you in a thick cloud, that the people may hear, when I speak with you, and may also believe you forever. Moses told the words of the people to Yahweh. Exodus 22:1 If a man steals an ox or a sheep, and kills it, or sells it, he shall pay 5 oxen for an ox, and 4 sheep for a sheep. 2 If the thief is found breaking in, and is struck so that he dies, there shall be no guilt of bloodshed for him. 3 If the sun has risen on him, guilt of bloodshed shall be for him, he shall make restitution. If he has nothing to make restitution, then he shall be sold for his theft. 16 If a man induces a virgin, who isn't pledged to be married, and lies with her, he shall surely pay a dowry for her to be his wife. 17 If her father utterly refuses to give her to him, he shall pay money according to the dowry of virgins. 18 You shall not allow a sorceress to live. 20 He who sacrifices to any god, except to Yahweh only, shall be utterly destroyed. Exodus 27:16 For the gate of the court shall be a screen of 20 cubits, of blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen, the work of the embroiderer, their pillars 4, and their sockets 4. 17 All the pillars of the court around shall be filleted with silver, their hooks of silver, and their sockets of brass. 18 The length of the court shall be 100 cubits, and the width 50 throughout, and the height 5 cubits, of fine twined linen, and their sockets of brass. 19 All the instruments of the tabernacle and all its service, and all its pins, and all the pins of the court, shall be of brass. Exodus 31:16 Therefore the children of Israel shall keep the Sabbath to Yahweh, to observe the Sabbath throughout their generations, for a perpetual covenant. 17 It is a sign between me and the children of Israel forever. For in 6 days Yahweh made heaven and earth, and on the 7th day he rested, and was refreshed. Exodus 34:10. Yahweh said to Moses, Behold, I make a covenant, before all your people I will do marvels, such as have not been worked in all the earth, nor in any nation, and all the people among which you are shall see the work of Yahweh, for it is an awesome thing that I do with you. 2Q4 Exodus C. Language, Hebrew. Date, before 68 AD. Location, Qumran Cave 2. Exodus 5:3 They said, The God of the Hebrews has met with us. Please let us go 3 days' journey into the wilderness, and sacrifice to Yahweh, our God, lest he fall on us with pestilence, or with the sword. 5 Pharaoh said, Behold, the people of the land are now many, and you make them rest from their burdens.